women who's gone through trauma because they faced a lot of rejection and they're scared because the feeling is the same. You can go through a traumatic experience in life and you can still feel happiness, you can feel sadness, you can feel depression, you can feel contentment, you can feel rejection, you can feel all of those things. You can feel that in a healthy relationship too. But the woman in her mind is like, I feel this way, so it is this way, and it's the same. So if I feel this rejection, it's going to make me feel the way I once felt. And I don't ever want him to have me feeling that way. I don't want to feel like less of a person. I want him to see me as highly as I see him. And it's the fear of not performing. And that's what I was trying to display. I am terrified of a man like that because his capability would make me scared that my capability won't match his in the way a woman's would, and I would disappoint him and he would leave me.
Well, let me tell you something. Because the thing is that there's very different men. Believe it or not all men are alike. There's so
Yeah.
many different men, and they can all love differently, but the outcome is the same. You know, I'm very arrogant in my own world because I'm built like this. I like to feel like this. This is my comfort pill. You know, to be arrogant, to be egoistic, all this stuff. I'm not proud of it, but uh, but my love is real with my woman. So what I'm trying to say towards that is a man that loves a woman and the woman is an actual good woman. She tries to be the best she can for him. Generally, he will never leave her. Well, I can't say that, but what I'm saying is that you will never fail him. He will not see you ever as a failure. Because even if you cook something and you completely mess it up, he's not gonna care because you tried. You tried to do something. Now, if you're this type of woman that even if you are the best chef in the world, it's a pain to cook a meal for your husband. Trust me, they're gonna dump you really fast. You never, because every meal is a fight. But at least with a woman that loves me, even if the meal is, my girlfriend cooks really good, but not every day, and the food still tastes so good to me because she does it with love. And that's the thing. There's no way she can disappoint me because as a king, I'm only a king because she's a queen. I can never pull her down. So I gotta help her be a queen, just like she helps me be a king. Because the further up we are, the further up we are, because we're helping each other.
No, that's real. Dad, I can't hear you, your mic.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
real.
And the other thing that women have to understand, and this is why men are very important. Women are better at seeing you as you are right now. Men see you of what you will become and how to get you there. Women may see
Mm.
potential in men, but they have no idea of how to get them there. Men
Yeah.
will
Mm.
calculate for your success. So right now, the woman might feel like she's a failure, but the man is going to see what you will become and where you're going and where you came from, where you are now, and where you're going to go and how to help get you there. And this is why when women don't have to worry about feeling so much about what's going on in the moment, because if a man cares for you, he's going to look at that and he's not going to look at that failure because he's going to be like, what can we learn from this? How can we fix this and get you going where you need to go? This is what men are wired to do. Women don't understand it because they think of men as in the way that they think themselves, and women do not understand the way men think.
I
Just like
totally agree.
men don't
I totally
understand
agree.
the way women
In
think.
my mind, in my eyes, my woman can never disappoint me. On the contrary, I am terrified to disappoint her because all she has to do is try. All she has to do is try, and that's it. As long as I know she's trying, she can do whatever. Look, my relationship actually is a prime example. I'm in a wheelchair, so nobody knows how to deal with this. Not even the doctors know how to deal with this. They just dump, because even when I go to the hospital, well, I'm digressing. When I started with my girlfriend, she didn't know what to do. My parents, they didn't know what to do with me. I'm talking about, like putting me in my bed, showering me, all this stuff that, I require a lot of help. So she didn't know how to do that. And she started learning little by little. And we still don't know how to do it. Until this day, it's been 7 years and we still have certain problems. But it's never a problem, because she's trying. At least she's trying. And that's what counts. It doesn't matter if she's doing a good or a bad job, she's trying. I have to understand that she's trying because when you can tell there's no way she can disappoint me. In my eyes, I can disappoint her. She can never disappoint me. Oof.
Well, and women and men are very much built very differently on the way that they think and the way that they do things, right? And so
Mhm.
there has to be that understanding because with like even some of the stuff that we discussed yesterday, this whole idea of feminism is one of the most destructive things known to men. And it was created by men. Women think that this was feminism, that was their idea. No, it was not. This was men that did this. And they calculated the steps that to have this outcome that we're seeing right now. And then they created the circumstances for women to not have accountability. You look at the court system, there's no accountability and so forth. Men get thrown under the stick and everything else like that. Women are just under an impression that it's easy for men. No, it's not. It's very difficult. Everything's stacked against you. When you walk into a court against a woman, you're guilty, right? That's just the way it is. You're wrong. And everything. They're like, well, why don't men go for custody? Well, you're going to get $300,000 in lawyer bills. You're going to have to pay her costs. You're not going to get what you want. They're going to beat you. They're going to crush you, and then they're going to take whatever else you have, and then they give you a swift kick in the hind parts and say, "Go figure it out." And that's really what's ended up happening. And so now women are realizing that now they're getting put through that meat grinder that was designed to destroy men, and they don't stand a chance, right?
This is why you saw that movie, that book. It was a book the woman wrote. It was a woman that she became a man, and like 3 months later, she went back because she's like, man, men have it so bad. It's horrible. They didn't even open the door for me. And I was like, that's what you're wondering? The door? Yeah. What about in the courts when you get murdered there and nobody cares about you? The door? Oh my God! You have no idea what a man is. You have no. You're crying
and
about opening the door.
and you know that lady, she actually killed herself. The stress
Wow!
of
I
being a
didn't.
man. Yeah, they did a documentary with her. She pretended to be a man for all these months. She was gay. She couldn't
Yeah.
handle how lonely and sad the life was of a man. She killed herself shortly after, like within the year, within the same year. And it's so sad. And
Wow.
like, it shows, and she thought that being a man was like so much easier. And she was like, I wouldn't wish this on anybody.
It,
Oh,
it
nobody.
it's like girls are like, "Oh, I'm one of the boys." I'm like, "No, you're not." I'm like, first of all, you don't want me to
No,
treat
you're
you like a
not.
man. You do not want to treat me like a man. Speaking of this, let me pull this up. This girl was talking about being a boy on a dating app because one of her friends said,
Hmm.
run me a profile. And she's like, oh, it's got to be easy. So listen what she has to say about this.
So one of my guy friends gave me permission to make a Hinge account for him because I was telling him how easy dating is with dating apps. And he was telling me that it's incredibly difficult. And I was like, Pete, you must be doing something wrong. And he gave me permission to create an account for him and just run the account. I've been a virtual boy for 3 days. And I've never felt this bad about myself. I feel like a freaking loser trying to get these girls to like me. And I'm starting to hate women because I'm like, when I say I mean Pete, because that's the account I'm using. Pete's about a 6. But I'm so desperate, I'm liking the 2s and the 3s, and even they won't like me back, Pete, which is a 6. So what level of delusion has entered women's heads? Like, what is going on? It is so difficult dating as a boy. I hate it. I'm on day 3 of being a boy, and I hate women, and I'm more depressed than ever.
I'll tell you what happened there. I'll tell you what happened there. The thing is that this. I spoke to a girl because let me see how I can word this perfectly. There are girls that are not that good looking, right? And they have this illusion because there's so many desperate men that they write to like hundreds of women every day. And these men, they actually get attention from some good looking women because some good looking women are, they feel they don't get as much attention as they think. So they're desperate because even though if they're getting a lot of attention, it's never enough. So they from time to time these ugly men they get an answer back. So out of 100 people, out of 100 girls that they write daily, one or two will answer back every day. So these guys that are ugly, they're actually meeting pretty women. So, but what I'm saying about a woman that they're delusional, since all these men are writing to them, they keep thinking that if I keep seeing this man, one of them is gonna be millionaire, and he's gonna, if I start having sex with all these men, just start saying yes to all of them. Sooner or later, one is gonna come out saying that he's a millionaire and he's gonna take care of me, because women think that all men have money. Women think that every man has money, and they don't know that's why men are the 1%. Those are the ones that have money. The other 99% don't have six figures. They don't make six figures. So these women, they keep thinking that all men have money, so they keep trying this guy and then the next one and then the next one until they hit the guy that has money.
But that's a delusion that women are under, because that's really not the way things work. And
Because we look at Instagram, we always on Instagram, and we see all these people doing all this stuff. Like I told my girlfriend, I was like, "Why you think all these girls are like that? Tell me one of your friends that has a life like that. Tell me somebody that you have met personally and has a lifestyle like that. Nobody. Nobody. So why are you hating on those people? These people are full of filters. They probably took a picture next to a helicopter that is not even on. It's these people, and the one that actually has that life, I'm willing to bet they have a miserable life because they have to keep up with that life. You can't go to sleep look without makeup. You have to be injecting yourself looking 20 when you're 40,
but the
because that's your lifestyle. Your lifestyle is, living like that,
and it
and
it's
everybody thinks that that's how the world works.
and it's really actually terrible, because it makes women do things that aren't natural, and then they end up having to go in and do um all of these things that they normally wouldn't do. And men don't value the things that women think they should. They don't, right? Like, yes, a lot of women do things actually for other women and not men. Because a lot of the things that the women put on themselves to try to make them look good, they don't actually look as good as they think. They don't. And men know that it's fake, because they're like, okay, well, I might deal with you, but I don't want to have a child with you because I don't know what you look like naturally. And so, what kind of genetics are my child going to have when you have all of this augmentation? And for me as a man, when I look at that, I have to seriously question, because I want to have an idea of what my kids are going to look like, what their health is going to be, and all these kinds of things. But women like to mask those things, and it makes their lives more difficult. And I think that people need to start thinking about those things rather than just the here and now, right?
But here's the problem also, that ugh, this is why some men are jerks, because when you're starting, let's say when you're like 20 years old, you want to have a girlfriend, and that girl, she's 20, 21. That girl is getting invitations from every millionaire in the world to go, because she's new. She's barely been touched by other men. So all these millionaires are handing out invitations to her, like it's Christmas. Hey, come to my yacht. Oh, I'll give you $10,000 for that weekend. You think I have a chance against a millionaire? No, I'm gonna be that loser that she's gonna offend and criticize and say, "Oh, you broke," and make me feel bad. So now she's creating a villain, and that villain is gonna be a loner, and he's gonna work out. He's gonna start making money, and then when he's 40 years old, she's gonna be also 40 years old, and but now she's being used by every millionaire, and now she wants a real man. And that's when I said, "Oh, now you want a man? Now I'm a bad guy. Now I'm gonna be the one sending messages to every girl to come on my yacht." And that's why we created a villain. And now she's lonely, and now I'm in the yacht. And they say, "Oh, this
But
guy's a jerk." No, he's not a jerk. They treated him like a jerk, and now he's a mega jerk.
but when the thing I don't understand is like, okay, you wanted the wrong type of woman then, because I never had this mentality since I was younger. My dad told me, Keisha, I asked my dad, what is acceptable man I can bring home to you? He said the one that loves God. I said no, but you have to tell me like what kind of stuff he need to have and stuff. He said the one who loves Jesus and serves God. He is loyal and respect to God and loves God. I said, that's it. He's like, that's it. So then when I started looking to the men around me, I found it's very hard to find. It's not
Yeah.
easy. It's easy to find the man with money and all this other stuff. So then I was looking at all these guys trying to talk to me, and I just said to myself, "No, man, I can't bring you to my dad. I can't even." They said, "You didn't even ask
Mm,
your dad." I said, "I don't even have to. I already know what his answer
yeah.
is going to be." And so, when it comes to these guys like that, I feel sorry for the man who's come villain like that. But there are women in this world who have good fathers who love them and taught them to put character above money. To this day, I've had people offer me, and I choose death over evil every time, because you're not going to put me in ultimatum. You're not going to make me buy my soul. You're not going to prostitute me, because what those women are doing is prostitution, and the
It
dad who
is.
allow her to do it is prostitution to all these millionaires who want, come to my yacht, I'll give you 10 million, whatever else. This is demonic, it's evil, and you don't know what's going to happen to your daughter when she goes out and does this, and you're going to let her do it for some money and some fame and getting the time and the resource from the man. It's evil. So that man, he should be going the proper way, I think, based on what my dad taught me, and going to the fathers of good women and saying, "Hey, I'm interested to your daughter," and leave those women behind who are just prostituting themselves, because they are making the environment bad for themselves.
We got to
Go
take a
ahead,
break.
Dad.
We got to take a break here, but we'll talk about this on the other side of this.
Alrighty.
Donald J. Trump is officially the next president of the United States of America. While millions of people are rejoicing in victory, thousands of others are still concerned about their savings. The unfortunate truth is we still have over $35 trillion in debt, plus wars are still raging around the globe. So what can you do to protect your savings? Many Americans are already taking action by reaching out to the top-rated precious metal company, Goldco. Right now, Goldco is offering you a free gold and silver kit to show you how precious metals like gold and silver could help you diversify your savings before it's too late. Visit MikeLikesGold.com or call 855-441-GOLD to get your free gold and silver kit today. Plus, you can receive up to a 10% instant match on bonus silver for qualified accounts. Visit MikeLikesGold.com or call 855-441-GOLD. I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
And I would just say, by the way, just quickly before, also, it's not like I just have just, normal average people in my DMs. Some people in my DMs are average men, that's fine. Some of them have money, some of them have no money. Some of them are so ripped and chiseled, I swear they have 0% body fat. Like some of these guys objectively are very attractive, some of them are average, some of them are whatever. None of it moves me. When you have a father who holds you accountable regardless of what you go through, you will not accept a man just because he's offer himself to you, because there's nothing beneficial about that. There's nothing long term. Your salvation is more important, and that the long term calculation of your salvation is endless because it's eternity, and no amount of money can pay the price that Jesus did for you. So, anyways, go ahead, Dad. Sorry, just want to be clear.
Well,
Well,
let me cut you off really quick there. The thing
yeah,
is that I also, this goes back to like who came first, the chicken or the egg. But who should we blame first? I always say I blame the man. Always, 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 because it's a man. Is, I don't know why, but you are the man. But you said you saying that you don't you respect your fathers because you have a good father. But what are the chances women out there have a good father? But not only having a good father, sometimes the father is doing a good job, but not he's doing, but not a great job. What do I mean about a great job? If you have a great daughter, if you have a good daughter, you raised her good, blah blah blah. But then some millionaire came and said, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna pay all this stuff," and that millionaire starts eating her brain. Sometimes, that it's very hard for the woman to stay and listen to the father when she can have this yacht, and that's
but
when they stray away.
this is why you have to build them on a foundation. This is where God comes in and allowing people to see consequences of actions. Because
Yes.
I taught my daughter not to value money. Money is
Hmm.
absolutely no value. It's like a tool in your toolbox. It may help you to do things, but it's not happiness. It's not going to make you happy. What ends up happening is that it makes you an addict because people go after what money represents and it gets them to fill their needs and what they think they want. But every person needs to have God in their life because there's a portion inside of you that will only be filled by God. And if you don't, you'll be running trying to push the square peg in the round hole for the rest of your life being unfulfilled. And then once you have God in there, then you can start bringing all these other things in there. And if you're looking for not just here, but looking for what God promises you later, you understand that this is only temporary, and the what you look forward to eternity is the more permanent. So here you've got to do. People don't realize this. Nobody remembers really rich people, but they remember the actions that people do, the legacy that
Yes.
they leave, and character is the most important thing, not the money.
Yes. Uh,
Yep.
and now that you're saying this makes perfect sense for you, me, all of us here. But imagine being a 20-year-old watching all your friends on Instagram having the time of their life, and we understand that that is just temporarily, and that's not actual happiness. All that fun on Instagram, all this degeneracy, all this stuff. We know now as adults, and when somebody has a brain in their head, we understand that now. But once again, imagine the 20-year-old, and now the 20-year-old, what she's gonna do is she's gonna have an argument with her father. She's gonna leave. She's gonna have a child with some douche out there. Now the child is gonna grow up fatherless, and so who do we blame now? The girl for making a bad choice, or the father for not being there?
It, it
Like,
it- it's a combination of both, and it comes down to the fact that the father, first of all, I knew full well that if I went at my daughter and attacked her, she's going to do the opposite. Girls are
mm-hmm,
so much more rebellious than boys.
mm-hmm.
It especially when it comes to the men. Women are naturally not wanting to deal with this, and
I
God,
still have the problem with a woman. I
God,
have to like talk to her like that. I can't, like you say, you can't, because they'll run away. They don't like to be like
Conflict.
Yes, they shut themselves
No,
down.
like
That's why I said it's the rejection. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I grew up with
Exactly.
five women in the house. You're never going to win having an
Never.
argument with a woman, because a woman, what she feels at that moment in time is the absolute truth. And so
Hmm.
if her feelings change 5 minutes later, you're gonna get two different answers, and you're gonna be like, what? And you're going to go nuts. But you have to understand, she doesn't think, like, she processes as she talks. You don't do
Talks.
that. You're going to think,
Mm.
and then you're going to process. This is why when a man gets angry, he walks away, because he like, I'm going to say something stupid. The woman is like, I feel I can do this, and she's going to say all kinds of things. The man is just going to shut down even more. He's going to get vexed, and he needs to leave. But the woman wants to keep pressing her because she wants the thing that feels good. But it's like, tell the woman to let the man walk away. He'll come back. Just let him go. He'll come back and he'll say
Hmm.
something and fix it. But he's like, he can't talk now. So he's like, I don't want to do something stupid to you. So I'm going to deal with this. But I just want to show you something here, because when we want to circle back the whole feminism thing, and they want to say that women and men are equal in every way, which they're not. They're equal as human beings. They have the same rights, but they're not equal in every way. And women are not designed to lead, because women are not wired for loyalty. They're wired for love and security. Men are wired for loyalty and duty. Women have to be taught this. And listen to these women, you'll understand why.
Gelse dese ki senin mi canını alayım sevgilinin mi? Kimi tercih edersin?
Sevgilimin. Sevgilimin.
Allah eşiminkini alsın.
Eşimkine.
Niye ben gideyim? Para da veririm. Eşim derim.
Eşimi.
Neden?
Niye benim canım alsın canım? Ölecekse ölsün.
Kendimi.
Benim canım alsın. Benimkini alsın, eşiminki olsun. Benimkini olsun.
Kendimi.
Evet.
No,
That,
man.
that is why men are the ones to lead, because men are wired for self-sacrifice. And when you read in the Bible,
100%.
God said for husbands to love their wives as Christ loved the church. And Christ, he took more abuse than any human being that ever lived, and then he gave his life for the church. So this is what men were called to do, because men are wired for this. This is why women cannot lead in that situation, because of exactly this. They'll let anybody else die in front of them. Men will not do that. Men will be like, I'll take the bullets so that you can live.
I always tell my girlfriend, I don't care about my physical situation. As long as you're okay, don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. It's man, that video was a little touching. I was a little moved there. Because I feel sad sometimes for the average man. Because I don't consider myself completely average, but I have friends, and I have this cool guy. He's my friend, like my brother. And this guy, he's my same age, and he's only had like three girls in his whole life, three girlfriends, and he's not. He's good looking, muscular, super smart engineer. He's just not that good with women because they take advantage of him. I don't know what is wrong with him. All I'm saying is that they don't give him the like I'm saying, like nowadays women think every man has money. Every man is it's I don't know how to explain it, but some men out there they're not, and it's not because they're losers or anything. It's just they have so much things to worry about. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, there's this whole idea, like, women don't understand this, and this is why women will make bad decisions on a man. Like, a woman will sit down and say, well, this man is in this condition. Women don't understand that men will literally let themselves get destroyed to protect their loved ones. So they might say, okay, this one man is in derelict shape. Is he in derelict shape because he doesn't take care of himself? Or does he calculate that he has to take these L's in order to protect people? This is what men do. Men will like literally let their arm be broken to save their family. They don't care about
Oh,
physical
100%.
pain. Like for me, torture me all you want. Leave as long as my family's okay. I'll take the punishment. That's the way men are wired. Women, they can't fathom this. They think that the physical pain and the suffering is going to stop the man. I'm like, you don't
No, no,
understand
no, no, no,
men.
no.
They don't.
And that's why I was my girlfriend the other day was asking me. She's like, let's get one of those Roombas to clean the house. It's the Roomba, it cleans and it washes the floor. It does the whole thing. She's like, oh, so so you can help me out here around the house. And I said, it's funny because like for a woman, most women they don't work and they stay at home, right? And they clean and cook and all that stuff. But some women have made their life easier. Like you got a washing machine, you got a dishwasher. We order food most of the time. So what are you doing exactly in the house? But so now you want something to clean the floor for you. I said, if a man out there in his job, he starts in his job, they start giving him all these accommodations, he will be fired. The easier the job is for him, the less they are going to require him, to the point where he's not going to be needed. So you're fired. Let's say my job was to take care of this house. How much you think I'm going to get paid? Because the washing machine is going to do everything for me. The dishwasher is doing everything for me. And now they're going to clean the floor? What do we need you for, Arnedo? Get out of here.
That's exactly
Right?
it.
But exactly. So for you to have these accommodations, I have to work harder, but you got to work less.
Because
So what's the exchange here?
the man will see that those things will eventually mean that he becomes replaceable, right? And
Yeah.
women, they think about what's going to because they're wired for that love and security and feeling good. That thing that makes them feel good in the moment is what they're going to focus on more so than what you're going to see in the long term. Because the men, we're not wired to feel good. This is why when people saying because you feel this way, I just want to slap them in the face and say, listen, I'm not a woman. Feelings don't matter to me. They don't. Like I feel bad all the time, but I do it anyway. My daughter's like, well, I'm feeling terrible and sick and like that. I'm like, I don't have time to feel sick.
I thought that was a requirement.
I'm like, I gotta make sure.
Yeah, I thought I came with the man. Oh, he's a man. Oh, give him all the bad feelings.
It's like I got to make sure my loved ones are still alive, so I don't care if my leg's falling off. Like you just go until you're dead. That's just the way a man's wired.
And if you have any doubt about that, look how many men come from another country, work their butt off here to send money to their family in another country. Tell me a woman that came from another country to a better country and is working their butt off and taking care of a man and their children. No way. That woman, as soon as she gets here, she's like, bye. Bye. Everything. Even if the kids, some women might declare
True.
their kids, so for their children. But if the children is okay over there, they don't even care. I'm
I've
telling you because I
seen
have a
that.
bunch of friends from Cuba that they come here and they forget about Cuba. But the men are working here until his wife and his kids are not here. He doesn't stop.
Yes, and
I seen that.
we're gonna
The women.
we're gonna have to close this segment here. We'll come back on the other side and talk about this because I actually want to bring this up here. So I'm gonna close here with a prayer. Give Kaysha viewers. If you're watching on the live stream, you'll see this. If you're watching on Frank's Speech, you'll see it the next day. So I'll close
All
here with
right.
the prayer, and we'll go to the give Kaysha your final thoughts, and then we'll go on to the next segment. Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your love, grace, and mercy. We thank you for the hope that you have given us this day. Watch over all the men and help them to stand up and do what is right, and watch over the women and help them that they would work with the men and bring them together that they would be able to lead their families back to God and to rebuild their churches, their community, and their nation. Be with us and bless us and watch over Arnedo and his family and the work that he's doing, and others like him, and help them that they would be able to be examples for others in their area, that they would see how to run families and to come back to God is my prayer. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Dad, for the prayer as always. Thank you guys
Thank
for
you.
tuning into this segment. We appreciate Arnedo coming back. Do not leave. Do not go away. We will be back on the other side in a few moments' notice. To the people watching on Frank's Speech, you'll see the next part of this episode tomorrow. But guys, we need unity and family, and that comes with vulnerability and strength. And even if you've gone through a great ordeal of things, vulnerability is the way, because even if there is an iceberg in front of you, you got to meet it head on. You can't try. Sometimes you can't divert it. You just got to meet it head on. So anyways, guys, thank you for your time and considerations. We'll catch you guys in the next one. And to my dearest Karis, until we meet again, my friend, and we will. Ciao. Hello friends, Kaysha here, and some of you might know me from the Karis Project podcast. So today I want to share with you a few updates of things that we have going on and how you can be a part of helping us going forward. So as many of you know, my father Dale Richardson is a mechanical engineering technologist with a bachelor degree in technology, and I worked for the provincial government back home in Saskatchewan, Canada, at a maximum security prison and hospital for the criminally and mentally insane. Now, as many of you know, we were exposing the improper contagion mitigation procedures for the COVID pandemic in early 2020, and likewise, how that relates to human trafficking, treason, and election interference in Canada and the United States. And this is precisely why the Karis Project has filed petitions for redress of grievance in the states of Texas, Colorado, and Michigan, as well as the province of Alberta in Canada. Now, it has recently come to the attention of the Karis Project that there was a mother in Colorado who was punished by the courts for trying to protect her children against a predator for being sexually abused and brutally attacked by the father. She's now going to jail and serving time for trying to protect her children against the evils and the corruption that we have all seen the last few years. Now, this is the same thing that we are seeing with Alberta's Minister of Health, Ariana Lagrange, who would not take the necessary actions to protect children from being sexually abused by convicted pedophiles and continuing to allow them to practice in the province of Alberta. And their licenses are currently being protected by the Alberta College of Physicians and Surgeons. Absolutely horrendous, if you ask me. The
failure of our governments to bring these petitions to the floor have directly affected patriots like Tina Peters in Colorado, who are being politically persecuted with complete impunity, by the way, while convicted pedophiles are being protected. Here at the Karis Project, it is important to us that we the people are able to take our rights back and use our God-given constitutional rights to be able to expose the evil going on in this country and hold politicians accountable. We need especially the strong men to take charge in supporting the Karis Project's action plan financially in doing the work of holding the government accountable to protect our rights. And if you guys know me, you know already that this is my favorite quote, and so I'm going to leave it with you here today, because the most important thing that we need in this country right now is strong men. And I as a woman know just as much as anyone else just how valuable and important it is for us to have strong men leading our country to success. And so I'll leave you with this. The greatest want of the world is the want of men. Men who will not be bought or sold. Men who in their innermost souls are true and honest. Men who do not fear to call sin by its right name. Men whose conscience is as true to duty as the needle is to the pole. And men who will stand for the right, though the heavens may fall. So my friends, you've heard all that I've had to say today and the importance of the same. As you can see, we have people, strong patriots, and women standing up for what's right and being completely destroyed. Politically, financially, we have good women in this country, good mothers whose children are being completely abused and taken advantage of within the system and even within their homes. And nothing is being done about it. Now is the time to take a stand. The Karis Project has an action plan, and based on all the experience that we've had throughout the years, we have the ability to teach people how to get this done. We need to work together in a time such as this, because our time is limited. Elections are coming up, and something needs to change. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Now's the time to take a stand, and that is precisely why I encourage you to stand with the Karis Project for we the people. Thank you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Karis Project podcast. We have again with us Arnedo and so forth. So now he's an entrepreneur, Cuban-American, who's faced some challenges. We discussed this previously, and of course, my daughter, the host, and we're going and touching on some of the things with some of the relationships and the degeneracy and these types of things that are fueling things. And we looked at this yesterday in a previous episode, but I'm going to bring this back up again because this demonstrates the type of entitlement that women have, where, like you talked about, a woman going ahead and leaving for other options if she came to the country and left her husband behind. But women who are still here in the country will do the same thing. And this woman just outlines, because she thinks that she wants to have somebody to go and take care of her, she goes and gets pregnant for another man and then goes ahead and tells us about it and then tries to justify her behavior for cheating, right? This is the delusion that women are under, some of them, because of fatherless behavior. And the fathers, whether they're there or not, you're still fatherless if your daughter comes out like this, 100%.
You're a loser.
Wow.
How am I supposed to be with you when I got these men all the time in my DMs offering me luxury cruises, mansions, all this different stuff?
So after all these years, you have to tell me that about getting pregnant by another man? We couldn't separate for you. We couldn't have this conversation.
I mean,
before we got to this part.
Things happen, but
I had to find out you was pregnant.
You weren't taking
How low
care
of you?
of me.
That's low.
You were not. The bottom line is that you were not taking care of me.
I'm a hard-working man.
I went into another man's arms.
I'm a hard-working man. I gave you everything you asked for me. What more you want?
I'm in here splitting half of these bills. You're not taking care of me.
The rent is $4,000.
So? A real man could pay that $4,000 and then some. I should be in the hills somewhere.
Brother, that woman doesn't have a heart, man. You know what? God, I'm grateful God is real. Because God sees all that stuff. And one day she's going to have everything she wants. One day she's going to be in that hill. One day she's going to be with a real man, right? A real man that's just, and she's going to be like, I hate my life. Because it's not going to sit well with her. Because she's not a human inside. She doesn't have self-happiness. She will never be happy, even if she gets all the things she wants. That's a good thing about God. God is so great that He gives you what you want, and He's like, here you go. This is what you wanted. Let's see how you handle it.
But this is the thing that women don't understand, and women place a value on things that they see, but they're not looking necessarily at the deeper understanding. Now, they may be able to manipulate men because of their bodies and so forth, but they don't understand how men think. They don't understand because if they did, if women understood the way that men think, no woman on planet Earth would sell her body. None. Because they would understand what's going on, but they don't. Because men are wired for loyalty. And even a man who goes around and he sleeps with a bunch of people, he hates himself because he's not loyal and he doesn't have control. He may act in many ways to act a fair front, but he doesn't because he can't control himself. The strongest man is the one who has self-control. And the only how you get that is from God. Because God can do for you what you can't do for yourself. And when you have problems, you go to God and God fixes them. And so the most self-possessed man is a man who submits himself to God. So now a woman who goes ahead and she's disloyal, men instinctively know that this woman is not going to be the one for them because there's always going to be someone who's going to be more money, someone who's going to do better in the sack, someone who's going to do something differently, and she's just going to go ahead and be like next. And so she's wired for addictive behavior, and money and the things that you have are not the things that are going to build a lasting relationship. That's just an immediate gratification. You know who also has issues with immediate gratification? Pedophiles and rapists. They are people that this is wrong wiring. 100%.
And the sad part is she's telling all that stuff to him, but we are used to being abused all the time. We're used to being treated bad. We're used to all the stuff. She's not used to that. So she's calling a man a real man for what he can provide, right? Oh, you can't pay a $4,000 rent by yourself. You're not a real man. So that's what she's equivalent, making a man. That's what she's measuring a man by the amount of money he makes. So in her mind, that's how she's measuring things. One day they're gonna tell her you're not a woman because you can't sexually satisfy me. Because that's all she's providing. Does she has a brain? No, she doesn't. Is she loyal? Of course not, because she's already pregnant by some other guy. What can she offer? She just a hoe. So in the future, some guy is gonna tell her, listen, you're just a hoe. You're not a real woman to me. And that's gonna destroy her because this man that she offended now, he can go and look for another woman that's gonna accept him for what he is. Because he's not a bad guy. He's not a bad guy. He's not the bad guy here. So his chances that he can find a good woman are higher than her finding a good man.
It's true. The women are very bad at very determining what's of value in relation to men. They're very bad at seeing the way that men are. Women who get men that are good, it's only the mercy and grace of God. Because I watch women I've watched this my entire life. And I grew up, the first place I saw women learned about women being in the sex trade was in church. I was in a church that was of mixed race, like it was about half white and half black, and a lot of them were related to each other because of marriage and so forth, and a guy was pimping a pastor's daughter, took them out to BC. Almost the entire church knew about it, and it wasn't a pastor from that church, but he would come from time to time. The guy'd be crying about his daughter, and they all knew where he was, both the white people and the black people. Nobody said anything, and they just let him do that. And I thought to myself as a kid, I'm like, that's disgusting. And then, growing up in the hip hop community, it was all pimps and prostitutes. So I saw a lot of that stuff. I'm like, this is disgusting. Like, and I saw what they had to do and what they would beat the women to get them into that mindset. And they use all these manipulation techniques, smooth talking, all of these things, which I was a kid and I wanted to strangle them, but I couldn't. And when I got older, I wanted to, but it wasn't going to work out that way. But, I didn't like it. And so I see the types of things that are going on and all kinds of stuff. And I've watched this happen. Women destroy themselves when they do these things. They don't see this, but they are unfitting themselves for the things that they want. And the more that they do this, the more they damage themselves. Money is out. I don't care about money. It's nothing. It's a means to an end. What's the most important thing that you can do? The hardest thing that anybody can ever do is to create a successful family, because that takes consent. It takes putting things up, and you're going to have to deal with things that you don't like. And you're destroying yourself as a human being when you go for things like this, and then nobody's going to value you because of it, because no one likes disloyalty.
But she's putting value on the wrong thing, and that's why they're gonna value her. They're gonna value her for that. Like, well, you think he makes that much money? Okay, I make that much money, but you have to stay beautiful forever, because I'm gonna stay rich forever, right? Because this is how you measuring me, by my money. Okay, I'll have money forever, but I'm gonna measure you by your beauty. You better be beautiful forever. You know you're gonna lose that battle. So why are we measuring ourselves with things that are out of our control? That's like women saying like they want a man that are like 6 feet, or like you don't control that. Why would you? The baddest men in the world are 5'5". Those are the Marines, the Berets, all these crazy guys. They're 5'5". A 6-foot man is useless in a lot of ways. Yet they want a 6-foot man, all this stuff. You can't control that. Why are you making somebody who's a lethal weapon in the army? Why are you making him feel useless out here in the real world?
Well, and I can understand if the woman is like tall and she wants to have somebody that's tall like her, right?
Oh yeah, I would get that, right?
But when you're
4'9", what are you doing asking for a certain?
Yeah, what are you asking for?
Well,
yeah.
But then when you ask for things like 6 foot, 6 figures, and 6-pack, those are not that difficult to get. They're really not. And a lot of men can go ahead and do this, but then they don't have to do the most important things. And when women desire those things, they actually get the weakest men possible, because physical tasks, we're built bigger, we're built stronger, right? And so forth. So you don't have to worry about the good character. You don't have to worry about a man who's going to calculate the success, because this is a news flash for women. Single mothers are the absolute worst things for society. They are the worst outcomes because women cannot prepare the children to go out into the world with those consequences, because they're nurturers by nature, right? Yeah. God designed us that we needed to work together. This is why single fathers have better outcomes, because men will teach you the consequences of their actions. When a man sits down and he says he's going to lay down the law, he's unchangeable. And this is why men don't need to argue with words. They speak to you by their actions. Men size each other up not by talking, they observe each other, right? Men understand threats just by seeing them. They make the slightest change and a man will understand. Women don't see these things, and when they do see them, they are too late. And this is why they need
Exactly.
this is why they need a father. Women don't readily see what men do, but they definitely need to understand that they need them. They say that, oh, we don't need a man. Yeah, you do. Your kids especially need a man because you can never do your job as a mother without a man. And yes, some women are stuck in that situation, but the reality of the matter is you can't lie to yourself. You will never be able to replace a man. Never. Just like a man can never replace a woman.
Can never. And there's another thing that I want to point out that I had a friend that most women want a rich guy, right? They obviously, they want a rich guy, but the way that a rich person thinks is so different than what a regular person thinks. That's why he's rich. If a woman is dating somebody, her level, that guy has more to do with her. Like their interest, their interest, they kind of align. For example, if my girlfriend has a problem with somebody in Cuba and she needs help or whatever, and we have $2,000 saved that we've been saving for the past 6 months, and all of a sudden her mom in Cuba, something happens, I wouldn't think twice before saying, yeah, send her the money. She needs her. But if I was a millionaire, I would say, no way. That's my money. I don't care about your parents. No. Because do you think a millionaire became a millionaire by giving his money away? No. He's going to say, your problem, my problem is only you. I don't care about your family. I don't care about your dog. I don't care about nothing. And what is she gonna do? Break up? Bye. I'm the millionaire here. Go get I'll get another one tomorrow or tonight. So what are you gonna do? Nothing. So now you're suffering with a guy that that doesn't even want to help your family. Meanwhile, that broke loser that you dump, at least he would have tried. At least he would have done something to help you. Because since he has the same mentality. But a millionaire is a millionaire because he's a cold man. You don't become a millionaire by being a nice guy.
Well, you have to make some decisions, but some people don't understand that the business decisions that you deal with out there, you don't bring them into your home, and you can make money having integrity. Just a lot of people don't, right?
Yeah.
Like you because if you're smart, you can make money with integrity. People who are not smart are generally the more cutthroat, and these are the ones that the women are going after that are dumb, right? And so they have to do grimy things to get money because anybody can go and make money if they do grimy things, but the smarter people don't have to do the grimy things because they know how to make money, right? But most of those women are not getting those, and they're getting the guys that are doing grimy things, and then they wonder what's going to happen. And if you're only providing your body in sex, you're very replaceable. Men understand this, and women, this is why they're under so much stress because they're trying to compete by just using what they can see. And if you, first of all, women don't understand. I'm just gonna break this down. You go ahead and you put yourself out in a very nice body and make yourself look good, attract the man, but you don't have the things that he needs. He's gonna resent you, and he's gonna walk out on you because men do not, deception and disloyalty do not fly with men, and you will get what you want for a moment, but then he's going to kick you to the curb because men hate deception. Disloyalty to among men,
Man.
that is
But we don't forget. Don't forget. They say women don't forget. I have a better one. I think men don't forget. I think men love harder than women. Let me give you an example. If I was to give you, I'm pretty sure you have Keisha, I'm pretty sure you have a favorite purse, right? I bet if I was to give you a brand new one, you say, yes, I want that one. And you will throw away the old one. But a man, when have you seen a woman with an old car? never. But a man will have a 1940 and he's been
You know,
repairing that trash for the longest because he's in love with a car. You will never see a woman trying to fix something that's irreparable. She would rather buy a brand new one.
Man,
A
actually,
man will have his same shirts, the same shirt from like when he was a baby. A woman will say, "Heck no, I want a new one." Yes,
honestly,
every time my girlfriend throws away a shirt, I'm like, that shirt had a little sentiment. That shirt was personal to me. She's like, but just get a new one. You can just buy a new one. It's not about the shirts. I mean, it's about the shirt.
well, yeah, there's truth to that. At the same time, it's a little different for me because I have a purse that I like very much, but it's not expensive. My grandmother made it for me, and it's more than what you can
Mm.
even buy. And I prefer things with sentimental value. I don't like things that are common
Uh,
just because they're common. And most of the time, if something is common, I don't like it because I don't want to hop on the bandwagon. I want something that's
mm.
unique to myself. Actually, when I was here in the US, when I was able to work, when the ICE people were permitting me to work through their own persecution, um, I saved up enough money to buy a car, and I could have put a down payment on like a regular expensive car. Everyone was like, "Oh, get this other car," and blah blah. I bought an old '90s Volkswagen with a convertible top or whatever, and I like it. It really sucked as a car in a lot of ways, but I was like, you know what? This is just more practical. And it's going to get me from point A to B, and I just need to get to work, and that's whatever. So, like, I think it also depends on, again, the woman, the upbringing, because my father always raised me on do what's practical, what's pragmatic, not what just, oh, what feels good or whatever. I might like clothes or whatever else, but if I don't need them, I'm not going to get them.
Yeah, but I mean, I
Like,
understand. Sorry, go ahead.
no, like my point was kind of like Tristan, right? Tristan Tate. Well, yeah,
Yes. Yes.
Do you know his favorite car?
The Lada.
Exactly. This guy's a billionaire. 50, hundreds of cars, of supercars. What do you know him for? For the Lara. Do you think if a
Lada.
woman was a billionaire, you would ever know her for something old? No.
No,
Never. When have you seen Kim Kardashian wearing something from last year? Never. Never. I'm not saying a woman wouldn't say, okay, well, I don't have enough money, so I have to get this or that. No, I'm talking about that you have everything, but you choose
Every
that.
money.
But you choose
I see
that.
what you're
That's what I'm
saying.
talking about.
I see what you're saying.
The way a man loves is completely different. This man is a billionaire, and the first thing he did was purchase an old car.
a man will have two brand new wallets, but he likes his first wallet and he'll have it falling
Exactly.
apart. Then the woman will
Yes.
empty out his wallet when he's sleeping and throw it away, and then the man will be like, "Why'd you throw
Yes.
away my wallet?" Right?
Yeah,
Like,
because
Yes,
yeah,
my
I see.
woman throws away my shirts like that. She throws them away because she's like, we just bought new clothes. Why are you going to have the... Oh, that's my favorite shirt for something. I don't know, but I...
and so
women think about being presentable and stuff like that.
yes, and this is
yeah.
just kind of circling back on that situation. But when you're talking about women and what feminism does, it creates women that have no accountability. And look at a clip of this woman and how she thinks that she should go ahead and go and damage men. Men do not do this intentionally. Men don't get up and think that I'm going to go and destroy women. This is not the way men are wired. Listen to this woman.
The whole time I was seeing him, I was kind of just using it as a psychology experiment, and I didn't really like the guy. I more just wanted to see if I could break his heart. And it was fun.
So did you break his heart then?
Just a wee bit. I hope I did a little damage.
Wow. Okay. Why do you hope that you did a little damage?
Just, I like humbling men.
You like humbling men?
Yeah. It's like my pastime.
Your pastime is humbling men.
Mm-hmm.
You do work at a strip club, so do you humble men there?
No, I take their money.
And they take your soul. The money, I can make money anywhere. Where can I make souls? It's very hard. So it's an unfair exchange, if you ask me. You're getting a few dollars for your whole soul.
Yes, yeah.
That whatever show, it's a little rage, clickbait. It's a little, because most of these girls there, they play that dumb game
Yeah.
to get people so they can be like, oh, who is this girl? Let me go to her OnlyFans over there. That's what they do. They want to create a character so you have something to fantasize about and then go at it later. Because if it's just a girl, you don't have any interest on it. So that's why these people in the whatever show they do.
But
you know what's funny about the clip that you said? If I was with my friends and one of my guys' friends, he starts talking about like that about a woman, all of us would beat the heck out of that guy. I'm not saying this because we have morals or something. It feels horrible for a man to speak like that about a woman. Like, oh, I just did this to her and I used her and whatever. If that was a man talking exactly like that about a woman, I don't know, but I believe 90% of men will hate that guy so much because that's a snake, and if he can do that to a woman, imagine what he can do to men.
It's not even just, it's even worse than that. A man that's wired that's going to do this, what that woman is saying, that's a man that would cut you up and eat you for breakfast, literally. Like, there is something very wrong, and men will want to, like,
can be right.
A man would be like, that man's a threat. He needs to be neutralized. That's
yes,
seriously
for real. That's not a normal thing to just play with somebody's life like that.
No,
that's like being in a corner and try to feed you and you can't. They're playing with your emotions. They're playing with your heart. And the thing is that you don't know who you're playing with. Because if you're playing with a jerk like me, okay, whatever, I'll get over it. But what about a man that has never loved before? What about a man that's giving you everything because he's in love with the illusion of you, and then you just playing with him, and then you just destroy him like that?
Women don't know what they're doing.
That guy, he either is going to kill himself or kill somebody.
Yes.
That's what I was just going to ask.
Men don't like that villain.
What? Yeah, I said, what about the guy who you said is a jerk? He was overlooked by all these girls because they chose the rich guy, and then he becomes like the rich guy, and he starts doing this to those girls, and she try to play him like that. Then what is he going to do to her? This is why I'm scared of like men. I have a respectful fear of men because I don't know what kind of man they are as a man. I only know what I'm feeling in front of my face right now, and that's why I always let my dad do the mitigating, because I'm like, I don't know you. I don't know what you're capable of.
All right, it's time for us to take another break, so we'll be back after a commercial break.
All righty.
Donald J. Trump is officially the next president of the United States of America. While millions of people are rejoicing in victory, thousands of others are still concerned about their savings. The unfortunate truth is we still have over $35 trillion in debt, plus wars are still raging around the globe. So what can you do to protect your savings? Many Americans are already taking action by reaching out to the top-rated precious metal company, Goldco. Right now, Goldco is offering you a free gold and silver kit to show you how precious metals like gold and silver could help you diversify your savings before it's too late. Visit MikeLikesGold.com or call 855-441-GOLD to get your free gold and silver kit today. Plus, you can receive up to a 10% instant match on bonus silver for qualified accounts. Visit MikeLikesGold.com or call 855-441-GOLD. I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
Yeah, just kind of going back to what you're saying. Yes, a lot of those girls, they do lie about what they're saying, what's going on. We understand that. But the point is the fact of what they're doing and the message that they're conveying.
Yeah.
And they're bringing in people into doing things that are not very good and they're destructive to society. And so while the girl might be lying and going this to do this to get her bag, what she's actually doing is she's creating the circumstances unbeknownst to herself, because women don't create the circumstance. They're the ones that react to it. But their actions are creating a circumstance that's destructive to society. This is why I said that if women understood the mindset of men, they would never sell their bodies. They wouldn't do this, because what they're doing is they're creating a society of destructive men that are weak, that are addicts, and that are wired for immediate gratification, because I can get up there, pay my money, and get my fix any point in time, rather than doing it the way that they're doing it. And you're creating a bunch of predators in the process, and then you're destroying the very things that you want. And not only are you creating more predators, but you're creating pedophiles. Because when pornography becomes an addiction, you need to have something harder and harder and harder, and they're pushing the things for lower and lower of the younger women and so forth. And this is where you have a problem. And this is where, like, I'm going to bring this back up here, and this clip of this girl that is making a ton of money, and another girl that she talks about her whole OnlyFans experience. But this girl looks like she is literally 14 or 15. And if you look on her X page, she dresses herself like a 14, 15-year-old girl. Like, people look at her and look like a kid. And that is wiring people, men, for the wrong things. Look at this girl.
So you are aware that, like, you're the final boss when it comes to OF, right?
Is that what they say?
Yeah.
Is that what they call it?
Mm-hmm. And I know you saw the clip of Julia making $400,000 a month, so I just need to know, like, how much are you making a month?
I don't know if I don't really want to hurt your feelings. I just don't.
Hurt my feelings? What do you mean?
I don't want to say.
You don't have to say, just show me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I won't break your phone. I actually, like, kind of tearing up. $4 million? $4 million in a month?
Yeah.
400,000 the last 7 days, in case you were. Not even, it's more than that.
Thank you to all the simps out there.
Yeah.
I hope your money all worth spent.
Apparently most of the money, apparently statistically, a lot of the money comes from men who make good money, as well as married men. Like, this is not just like losers in their
mostly married men.
Crazy. And that's sad.
And I just want you to look. Before we go ahead, I just want you to look at this next girl that also is doing this, and look at her. She looks like a kid. This is disturbing.
Oh my God. Why is this so hard for you guys to understand? I show literally everything for free on my ex. It's not a nickel. It's not a dime. It's not even $1.
That was good enough. But that girl looks like she's literally 13 or 14 years old.
Do you know who's so young? Yeah. You know who's this girl called something Daphne, Abella Daphne or Daphne, Daphne, something like that. She's this girl. I know her because I was watching Saturday Night Live, and they spoke about her that she was making around $4 million a month because she was selling her bath water. Like she will go and take a shower in the bath water. She will grab a cup, she will close it down, and she'll sell that for like $20, and people were buying that water. If I'm not mistaken, I think she made $16 million on a month. For
But
saying, and it was, and people were saying, "Oh, I don't, this idiot buying all the water. I don't know why because it doesn't even taste that good."
but
Get it?
yes,
It
but
was that they were making a joke. They're like, "Oh, this idiot buying the water. I don't know why because it doesn't even taste that good."
there this push to degeneracy has began to fuel more of these things and made them more commonplace. And then now the women are going ahead and saying, well, oh, they're going to pay for it, but they're not looking at the consequences that they're happening down the road. And this is where then when they're now in these situations, the women have bad boundaries, and with these boundaries, they begin to participate into degenerate behavior within, which in turn are going to make men that are degenerate, and you're going to have the cycle go on and on and on. And that this is what they need to understand. And if they didn't, if women understood this, they would be terrified of the prospect of selling themselves.
Exactly, and but what we were talking about earlier, the age gap and all that stuff, the age, these women are also promoting pedophilia. They don't know them. They're 28. They look 16 or whatever, but they don't know what they're doing to men. These men are now attracted to women. They say, "Oh, she's 27. I mean, she looks 7. She looks underage, but she's 27, so that's perfectly okay." No, it's not. This girl is dressing up like a little girl. She's making herself look like she's underage on purpose. I have TikTok because I post something and I leave it there. Hopefully, one day it becomes extremely like one video goes viral and maybe I make money from there. But I don't interact. I don't watch anything there. I barely go there. I just post a video and I close it. But TikTok is pedophilia. In TikTok, it's just all this little and they allow underage girls to do weird stuff. Like every time you're there, you see every video that you see on all the other social media, it was downloaded from TikTok. And I'm asking to myself, how are they allowing these girls doing this?
This is what it ends up happening. The number one indicator before pedophilia is pornography consumption. And so these girls that are participating in this OnlyFans, they're exasperating the pornography consumption. And then women have way off base boundaries and so forth and start engaging in very deviant behavior that also promotes
Yeah.
this. And you
Because
can't
like
allow.
when
Yeah, go ahead, Keisha.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say like because when the girl was saying to her like $4 million in a month and 400,000 in a week, she was like, the girl was like, and looked away. You could see like she kept trying to look away and like trying to prevent herself from smirking. She knows what she's doing. She knows why she's making that much money. This is why I think the girl who said hurt my feelings. What do you mean hurt my feelings? Like that girl with the black hair, she's actually very smart. Regardless of what anyone says about her because she's doing OnlyFans, she knows exactly what's going on, like in as much as she can. She understands. And so when she's telling this to the girl and the girl's like, because she knows exactly what both of them are talking about. And then the girl with the black hair went on and talked about, you guys are sick. I can't even be mad at her because you guys are disgusting because she looks like a kid. She's identifying the problem and people are saying that, oh, she's jealous. No, she's not jealous. She's identifying. That's why she didn't care. She was like, what do you mean hurt my feelings? This is sick and perverse. What are you talking about? She knows exactly what's going on. So these girls that are doing this, it's warping their own mind and their own mentality because they know what they have to do to make the money, and they're feeding into that very disgusting problem. And that is a lack of accountability and like mental illness, like like I can't even explain to you. I can't even fathom. Because to be putting the other girl that we had that we showed on the show not too long ago, the blonde one, I forget what her name was, she also looks 15. She's making millions. And she's just sitting there with the same look on her face as the other girl there, like Sophia Rain, I think her name is, because they know when you are interacting with people and doing all that stuff, you know exactly what's going on, and they know. And think about this. Think about this. These women, they know what's going on and they're feeding into it, and men are just paying and paying and paying. They think, "Oh, you're just offering me a service. I find this girl attractive." Well, they're promoting the highest girls that are making the most money look like children. The fashion industry is promoting women who are stick thin that look like prepubescent boys because they say that they want to make the clothes, the women are like a hanger, and the clothes will be on the hanger, which is the woman. If they really wanted that, they would get a machine, put hangers, the clothes on hangers, and have them rotate throughout the place. No, but they're actually advertising prepubescent like women and taking away all the femininity from them. And it was actually instituted by a famous psychologist who came from a family of psychologists that were actually quite wicked, and they were pedophiles. And now we have a society of people who has given complete admiration and affection for women who look, who they don't regard the femininity of women in their natural state whatsoever, and they regard completely women who look like prepubescent boys or children. And it is sick. It's not natural. And men talk about how they're visual. Why are they not recognizing this as a problem? And then if a woman is a normal size, oh, she's fat, she's undesirable, she's disgusting, she needs to be stick thin. No, you like little boys. I'm sorry. Like, it's just it's disturbing. And I'm not saying someone should be fat. That's not at all what I'm saying, because I appreciate health just as much as the next person. I'm just saying that we have to understand where things came from and how they got to where they are now. Like I said, the psychologist and my dad could talk more specifically about it because he knows, he always remembers more of those details. Like, he's better at explaining that part, but you get the point.
And this is why I go back to the point where who should we blame? Who came first, the chicken or the egg? Like, who do we blame, men or women? Because yeah, women are doing this, but men are paying for this. If every man in the world decided to say, listen, no more, let's not pay this, because we are funding this. So if every man would, take the simp out of them and say enough is enough, we're not going to pay for this anymore, all of this would be over.
Yes, 100%. Because you look at this, and then you look at this woman here who talks about when she comes in here, she becomes very degenerate, and you have no time for any life other than selling yourself, right? And you begin this you have to sit down and think. Women are designed to pair bond. The more people they sleep with, the more difficult it becomes for them to pair bond. And this is where it just comes to the point where it's pretty much impossible. And the only thing that's going to stop them from doing that is to give themselves over to God, because they can't. Because when you get to this point, like, and this is a woman, she is, I mean, in this this sex work or whatever you want to call it, and she didn't even have time to date. But by the time she goes and wants to start doing this, imagine how much is going to be gone from her, because all she's doing is sleeping with men, multiple men sometimes, and all these different things. Look at what she says.
With that being said, is it hard for you to date?
Honestly, right now I don't even have much time to date.
I was gonna say, with all this, with all these scenes going on and all these awards you're winning, it's kind of probably hard to keep a personal life in that aspect.
Yeah, I don't. I was dating more when I was in Australia, but now that I'm living here and I'm shooting all the time, I don't even really.
You got to keep that power of the goal, you know what I mean? Like, it's, you have to be more choicey over there.
Well, I had more time because I wasn't shooting like I am now.
Oh man, And for a woman, I would think that would be a little harder to say. You know what? Let me tell you something. When I first started experimenting with women, when I started going out more and like meeting more women and stuff, I was a little shy because I wouldn't do to a woman exactly what, like, I was a little shy with women. 'Cause I live here in Miami, right? So when I went out with, I was 21 and I went out with this woman, and I was afraid to treat her like she wanted to be treated because I had too much respect for her, and that kind of made me look like, oh, I wasn't man enough, or I wasn't, just because I didn't treat her like a hoe, like, like that. Sorry for the bad word, but just because I didn't treat her like that, she made me feel like I wasn't man enough. Like, oh, a real man would have done that. I'm not doing this to you because I respect you. And it's it's difficult, like, because yeah. So when I see women saying this stuff, I'm like, don't you have, like, isn't it a little more embarrassing for you to say this? I don't know.
It, sorry. I mean, yeah, I get this. This is women. This is where men have to stop it, because at the end of the day, yes, women are part of the problem, and women have to be responsible for themselves, but men are the ones who are creating the circumstances for this, without a doubt.
Exactly.
And they need to stop taking their money away. But women also have to be responsible and stop throwing themselves in front of the men, because it's like you can't put booze in front of the alcoholic or crack in front of the crackhead, right?
Exactly.
And expect them not to touch it. And then they wonder why there's all these problems with these men, because they're going out and they want to make their money, but then they're warping their minds, and then they're like, well, all these men are trash. Well, guess what? You're helping make them trash, and you're helping to feed their addiction rather than cut them off. You don't give drugs to the drug addict and expect them to stop.
But when it comes to women, though, like you said, you don't understand how women do that, and it's true. I'm just wondering, if a woman doesn't have a father, she's raised by a single mother who's just circling the emotional drain. How's she going to learn these things? Because my father taught me so many boundaries growing up that if men did try anything outside of the boundaries that my father taught me, I was so like disgusted in my soul that I would just end things with them off the bat. I would tell them, like, I'm sorry, but you don't have any self-control and you're going to lead me to hell, and I'm just not in with that. And if I have more self-control than you, then I can't respect you, and you can't respect me. So it's like, when women don't have those dads, like, they're going to think what feels good is good, and they're going to do that. That's weird stuff.
I'm going to sit down and I'm going to say this. And this is where, like they said, that the men are the ones that need to fix the situation and they're responsible. The men that are the ones that are helping to create this situation, they can't go ahead and start destroying those girls. They can't. They have to start dealing with the consequences of their actions and fixing it. Because if you're a man and you went and ran through 300 women, you can't sit down and call that woman down and kick her to the curb and expect to have somebody's virgin daughter. You're out of your skull. They're called consequences for your actions, and you're a man. You made the mess. You need to get up and fix it, and put up and shut up. And all these men that I hear that are talking about that and degrading these women that are going and sliding up in their DMs, you need to shut your mouth and you need to go and fix that. You're going to sit down and say she's not wife material, but you're going to go into her pants and then you're going to knock her up and then you want to tell her to go abort the child. No, you need to put up, shut up, deal with it, and now fix that problem. Because the more fatherless children you create, you're fueling trafficking and you're fueling the degradation of humanity. Now you've got to deal with it, right? I'm not saying that to say everybody else is going to do that, but if you're in the ones that are dealing with this, and then you want to just out and get somebody else's, that's not the way life works. You got to fix the problem. It's on your lap. Deal with it.
I at the end of the story, at the end of the day, I would always blame men. I would always blame men, because let me tell you something. You can give me any woman in the world, the worst woman in the world, and probably in a year, in no time, she will be wife material. I'll tell you why. Because I have a very good communication skill. For example, I tell my woman, I like the opposite of what you like. You like men, I like woman. Okay? You like a strong leader, I like a soft follower. You see what you like, I like it too, but the opposite. You like a strong leader, I like a soft woman. You want a man that people respect, I want a woman that respects me. You can't say, oh, I want a lion. I want a man that every time he says, hey, I'm doing this and it's going to get done, you can't ask for that man. Meanwhile, you are insulting that man and treating him like a trash at home. So the respect for a man starts at home. So the more respect you give me, the more respect I will receive out there. If you treat me like garbage, my friends are going to treat me like garbage, and then I'm going to be garbage. If I get treated like garbage at home, how do you think people are going to treat me in the street?
Well,
So I believe that a man has to be the root, the ground, the base for everything.
yes, and men have to fix the situation. They can't sit there and complain. I hear a lot of men complaining, but they're not doing the things to fix the situation. And men need to stop talking so much and they need to speak by their actions. Because if you're going to help women in that situation, men have to demonstrate by their actions. Because if you get into a war with words, it's never going to work. And now men have to stand up and now become stronger under worse circumstances in order to fix this. Because this is not going to be easy for men. But now we're going to have to go ahead because men are the ones who fix the situation, trying to blame the women and acting like it's on a level playing field when we're the ones who create the circumstances for society to run is nonsense. That's fatherless behavior on men's part. And so this is where unfortunately more men are going to have to get into difficult situations. But the men that are fueling this, you need to deal with your addiction. You need to go to God and stop breaking society down, because if the dollars dried up, would women be selling themselves? No, they would not.
And this is why I want to take God out of existence so people can be degenerates, because degeneracy generates a lot of money.
Yes, and it's
And
also
that's why I want to take. And that's why, another thing, that's why I feel like all of a sudden all these women posting how much they make on OnlyFans, I think this is a promotion stunt.
it
Because
is.
sadly, all these ladies, they say, oh my God, $4 million. And they go and do that, and they don't know that 90% of women in OnlyFans fail. They fail miserably. So this girl saying, "Oh, I make $4 million a month." Yeah, that's one person. That's like Elon Musk saying, "I'm a trillionaire." Yeah, that's you, my friend. Though not everybody it's Elon Musk. He did it. Congratulations. And he started from the bottom. Anybody can do it if you think about it. It's just the chances of you doing it is really slim.
Yes, and we're
So
sorry. Yeah. Oh, I just
yeah,
want we're running up on time. We got to close out here.
yeah, yeah.
I just wanted to
Go ahead.
say the one thing is this is that when we look at the way that society is being built, they're creating a system of slavery and addiction. It's going to make less money for everyone. And even the women that are making OnlyFans, their money's going to drastically drop because there's going to be less men to pay. And then their women are going to have to do more and more deranged things. And it's going to become very, very, very twisted, very badly, very fast. And people need to stop this and put the brakes on it now. Otherwise, because slavery is never a good thing. And those women, they're also enslaved because they're they're unfitting themselves for other work and everything else like that. And so the thing is, get out now, find God, do what you need to do, because each person that stops this type of thing is going to have a net positive effect on society. Everybody who stays in and gets engaged in it is going to have a negative effect. And men are the ones who are creating the circumstances for women to go in there, and they're giving them the promotion so that other women will go in there and ensnaring other men to make them slaves. And then there's going to be a lot less money going around, and those women are going to be in harder circumstances. So people need to start working together and figuring this out and doing what's right to fix it rather than making the problem worse. And this is where we need God. And thank you for coming. Give us a
Hey, thank you, man. Thank you
your
for having me. It's always a great pleasure. I always leave here more knowledgeable than anything. And, I really enjoy these conversations. At least I don't feel like I'm alone in the world when I think about these things, because it's always somebody trying to be this or trying to be that, but everybody forgets God, you know, and God has a plan. And if you're losing and you feel like you're not, it's because God, the universe, is trying to tell you that there's something wrong with you and you're doing something wrong. You gotta, I don't know, open a Bible, listen to some friends that are in a good path, you know, and be a better person. Try to be a better person every day.
Well, I just say that this is the time to repent and turn away from your sin. And I mean, at
Man,
the end of the day, because it, God will God will forgive anybody who comes to them. And he'll give anybody help, and this is what it is. And God makes you into a new creature, and this is why we shouldn't be going after people who turn themselves to God. And the people who want to get out of this, you're going to need God's help, both the men and the women. And this is what I suggest for people to do. I may not like the actions, and I, in fact, detest the actions, but I will still love the sinner, but I hate the sin. I'm not going to tolerate the sin, but I will always give anybody help who wants to sit down and get out of that thing and point them to the man who can. And that's really all there is to it. I'm going to close this up with a prayer here. Sorry, I saw something across my screen and I read it.
it's never too late. It's never too late to go to God.
That's exactly it. All right.
Mhm.
Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your love, grace, and mercy. We thank you for the hope that you have given us. And Lord, I pray for all the people that are going out and engaging in this lifestyle and the ones that are trying to fill the needs with other things that should be filled by you. Open their hearts and minds and speak to them and speak to the men that are in this situation and the men that are in this slavery and that they're in this addiction for this thing. Lord, I ask of you this day to open their eyes and understanding to your will. And Lord, help them that they would submit themselves to God and that all men would submit themselves to you and that the women would submit themselves to God and that they could rebuild the families and the men would lead their families back to God, rebuild their churches, their communities, and their nation, that the children can have some protection from the filth that they're being subjected to, and that we could finish the work until we see you coming in the clouds. And bless Arnedo and his work is my prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, my friend.
Amen. Thank you, Dad, for the prayer as
All
always. And
righty.
thank you,
Thank you.
Arnedo, for joining. You're welcome. And sorry, we always go back and forth like that. Um, we're all too pleasant, too polite. No, but thank you guys for joining on today to hear more from Arnedo and us. Him and my dad said it best. We need God and we need to turn back to God. We need to just be, regular people that try their best to have good families and be a part of our community and, do great things together. And there's nothing wrong with being the average person that goes out and does these things. We should check the contents of someone's character more than the external things or that they acquire or that they have, because some of those things they can't control, like the physical appearance, and then also, anyone can acquire money, but it's exceptionally hard to acquire a good character. So anyways, guys, thank you for joining us again. Go out and support Arnedo on his page. Like I said, he's a part of the real world. He's an entrepreneur. He's got a wonderful girl next to him, and he's an inspiration considering his circumstances in being a wheelchair. Thanks again for your time and considerations. We'll check you guys in the next one. And to my dearest Karis, until we meet again, my friend, and we will. Ciao.